Well, what I can tell you is that outside the High Court today, there's obviously high police presence. Police are out in their numbers, barricading the entrances into the High Court, as we do know that we are anticipating a large gathering and support for Zandile Mafe ahead of that bail application that we learned just yesterday, the NPA confirming that they received an urgent notice for bail application. And just taking it back to his second court appearance, which was on Tuesday, we then learned that he had been diagnosed by a district surgeon. He had been diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, and also the additional charge that was added by the state, rather being investigated under the Terrorism Act. And his defense, or his attorneys rather his defense, saying that they don't appreciate the last minute springing of additional charges, including the diagnosis. Following that, they were saying that they were under the impression that going to court on Tuesday, they were there for bail application. However, we now know that only today that matter will be heard, which was obviously an urgent application. But what we do also know is that just yesterday, or on Thursday rather, following that court appearance where Mafe had been ordered to go to Falkenberg Psychiatric Hospital, he was taken rather to Paulsmoor, seeing that there were not enough, or rather available beds to accommodate him for those 30 days until the 11th of February. But we now know that a bed was available at the psychiatric hospital to obviously observe him mentally, whether or not he is fit to stand trial. And something that also arose on Tuesday was that there was no additional, or rather there wasn't another expert to rebut what the state had put on the table and diagnosed him with, as we do understand that his defense, senior counsel advocate Dalimpof, was saying that his lawyer, or rather his client, had said that he's very much sound of mental, or rather there was nothing wrong with him, and they dispute this diagnosis from the state. And we did hear from his attorney outside of court on Tuesday saying that they are looking at taking him to an independent a psychiatrist to evaluate him, as he had mentioned that he was not, or rather there was absolutely nothing wrong with him. What I can also add is that following Tuesday's matter being postponed for about 30 days until the 11th of February, Zandile Mafe had told his defense that because he had not been granted bail and that they did not hear the bail application on Tuesday, he will be going on a hunger strike up until such a point where he is granted his bail, as they still believe, or rather his defense still says that they do have the wrong man in custody.